I document. Okay, quick understanding. The difference between a genius and somebody who's delusional. I was smart enough to turn on the camera and document the work. I come across a lot and I help a lot of scientists move forward that are afraid to bring their work to the public. This video is getting posted whether I like it or not, because I want you to see the organic opening of this. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I challenge myself to be wrong. This is the best I can do at this point, okay? Now look at my tea. This is the second time that I've used these tea bags, and the last time it came out beautiful golden brown chamomile. Chamomile is pretty much clear, okay? Look at the wave. That's the heat coming up in a helical, like the DNA. Exactly like you see on the scope. So when you're cooking around this, or you're working in the wires, you're not going to be imposed on the electromagnetic grid. So now we have to go back, because I'm making something very clear. My daughter is a straight A student. She wants to go to the best university. I'm telling Stanford and Harvard, you have no idea what I'll do for my daughter to make sure she gets into those universities. I'll give away my technology and walk away to get my daughter in a university so the world can have this. Okay? I'll make money. I'm not worried about that. This is not about money. So I'm speaking in these videos educationally, directly, as an answer to the biggest voice and the youngest voice that we know, Greta Thunberg. Here's again, worth the moment. During the day, electricity is understood in joules. The joules are the column of the electron charge, the power. The glass is an indication of the column. During the day, the glass is half full, because Nikola Tesla gave us the exact spectrum of electromagnetism. So the sun and the brute force of the daytime electromagnetism holds down that column. The night comes and the sun is gone. The column raises up and charges the ionosphere. This is the Bose-Einstein condensate at 201 milliamps. It pops from the linear magnetic to the Bose-Einstein condensate. As you freeze something, it goes from the Meier field to superconductivity. The magnetic moment moves the compasses. I'm telling you now, the electrons tunnel, answering quantum tunneling. Once it gets to the bow tie of superconductivity, it goes into a Bose-Einstein condensate, and electromagnetism comes back, but the electrons go into a wave. So, CO2 is a symptom gas. It's ridiculous to change everybody's wire, and it's ridiculous to get off fossil fuel immediately because we depend on it. Here's the deal. It needs oxygen to go through the ozone process to disassociate CO2 and drop it to its ground state of carbon. I'm telling you that CO2 is actually graphene. When you impose an AC wave up in the ionosphere, and make ozone from oxygen, it drops the carbon. Okay? Arguably, Indian rain dances make a little rain. No, that's not the problem. We have rain in Northern California. I'm a farmer. I'm an organic farmer. I farm 1,400 acres of organic citrus. You can see it on my bios page. 44,000 square foot packing house. Pumped out 750,000 pounds of lemons every month. I know what I'm doing. Trees absorb their water only during the night time, during photosynthesis. They absorb most of their water during a full moon, just like the full moon adjusts the tides. That's how trees absorb their water. But if photosynthesis and the linear magnetism that bounce off the moon that gives us our linear magnetism cannot get through the ionosphere because it's bound by electromagnetism, photosynthesis doesn't happen and the trees dry out. The crops don't grow. We don't get the oxygen that we need from the trees. The oxygen content is going down. Subsequently, the cyanobacteria that's in our oceans that gave us the massive oxidation event of the planet that basically rusted all the iron on the planet, that gave us our iron soil, iron oxide soil, rust, come from cyanobacteria, but it also gave us our oxygen. Okay? We've had volcanoes. No problem. Fine. The dinosaurs all died because of suffocation. Because the cyanobacteria stopped growing because the ionosphere carbon conductive. But we didn't have global warming. We just had mass extinction from suffocation. But lasted 20 years. They all died 15 to 45 minutes. How long can you hold your breath? Look on my CO2 capture page. Go to the Keeling lab. Definitely CO2 is going up. That's a symptom. But if we continue to broadcast over the grid electromagnetism, we're going to continue the same path. As population growth, our United States, that's where I'm at, absolutely affects the other side of the world at nighttime. Pulling out of the Paris Agreement is the most worst thing that could have ever been done. They're our customers. They're the United States customers. The patent law says the Patriot Act, look at Tesla Motors as an example. If you got something that's over efficient, they get to help you instead of the technology being sequestered, and it goes through the DOE and becomes law so that we can move forward. We're going to Hoover Dam. We're going to Niagara Falls. We're going to Sempra. You saw San Diego Gas and Electric. We're at their door. We've been at their door. We've been at JPL NASA's door. It's always been, here's a check. When I'm ready, we're ready. End of story. Let's check temperature. That's all we can do right now is be safe. That stainless steel should be as hot as that cooktop. No more hot pot handles. No more need for oven mitts. No more need for burned fingers. You should use those so you can set your stuff on and be a little safe when you're pulling things out of the oven. But still, I'm not asking you to change any of your appliances. I'm not asking you to change the way we manufacture things. I think we're doing a pretty good job. All I'm asking for is to give you a more affordable future using electricity. And when you realize that this is some pretty healthy food because we've corrected the heat at the atomic level based on all these principles that we know of in superconductivity, I'm going to say it again. I've been working with this stuff and amplifying gravity and CO2 and superconductivity since 2006. I understand it. And the science is still trying to figure out what the hell it is. We have supercomputing. We have all the tracks. We have everything. Here's the other part of the everything. Let's stay on supercomputing. These guys in Google, in Oracle, in Intel are so badass. They can make a pocket, put an electron in that pocket and tell it to go maybe up, maybe down, where we've been dealing with up or down. What I'm telling you is with this energy and a little bit of proprietaries that I hold back a little bit on the circuitry, is we can go 33 clicks up, 33 clicks down on 0, 33 clicks up and 33 clicks down, okay, on 1. Watch this math. This will absolutely blow your mind. And let's just say, before I do this calculation, I'm 99% wrong. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and preference that I'm 99% wrong, but I know I'm 100% right. Okay, watch this. We got nothing better to do. Okay. Calendar. What's the date today? Today is the 14th of January. It was only the 5th on Sunday when I could catch that Cooper pucked chain on the oscilloscope and I could prove it to you. That's why this is going so fast in these videos, because I'm pulling many years and videos and understandings of empirical data that I've been working with. But now I can prove it to you. It's not hypothetical. Can I do it again? Yes, because I studied the parameters and we did the scientific method. Okay. Little advertisement. ProtonSpinTechnology.com. Hermeneutically written website. You go here on your phone or tablet and you get your stuff, right? Right here. Oops. Well, this one gets you back to your home page. Eventually. Anyway, it'll go. Come on. Okay, back at the home page. The home page. Directory. Directory across the top. Directory again. Each one of these pictures is live. Talks about technology that is commercialized. This is not hypothetical. All of the products in the portfolios of Proton Spin Technology have made me money. Satisfied customers. From biometals to graphenes to hydrogen metals to hydrogen injection systems. Research, me, development, engineering. We take intellectual property in the United States of America seriously. I approve one thing from the administration, that we protect our IP. Advanced water desalination, turning the brine in water into diesel fuel or fertilizer through the drink me process. machine shop services, marketing. Okay? Forums, all my blogs, so you guys can keep up to date on this technology. So calculator. Arthur Devine, Dr. Arthur Devine, gave us the megabyte to the gigabyte. So we're going to say 2, because that's all we knew. Up, down in the toroid computers. So we got to go times 4 equals 8. That's where we're at with the gigabyte. Okay? Now we have to take that 8 because we understand the 8 times 8 equals 64-bit processor. Okay? Now we are at 64 times 4 equals the 256 processor. Only times 2. Now we're at the 512 processor times 1 equals 512. I'm sorry. Times 2. There's our terahertz processor. We're kind of stuck there. Okay? Here's the problem. Now we have to go supercomputing. So we have to go 0 up down, 1 up down. So we have to take that times 4 equals. Okay, now we're hauling ass. Okay, now we got a fast processor, superconductivity computer. Now we have to take that and go 33 up equals. Now we have to take that times 33 down equals. Basically every bit of information on the entire planet processed in an hour. Wrap that around your head. Now we have to take that times 33 equals times 2 equals that. Is just about every bit of information on the planet processed in less than 15 minutes. Let's say minus 99%. If I'm 99% wrong, equals, oh my goodness. Wrap your head around that. And we already have everything that Google, Intel, Oracle, Larry Ellison, Mr. Ellison, when you eventually find me, I used to work on your V12 in Belmont, California at Mercedes-Benz in trade for my breakfast at your restaurants. He used to, in the restaurants in Oracle, he sponsors the food. So you can have a steak and eggs, pancakes, bacon, coffee, hot chocolate. It costs you about $2.50 to $3. That's the man Larry Ellison is. My CTO, Jeff Meier, is in Switzerland right now building the carbon fiber composite boats for the America Cup and Formula One. And he's absolutely blown away that we're going to have carbon fiber graphene. It's going to be called graphene fiber. And Jeff Meier, the brother of my intellectual property attorney, Greg Meier, owns that. Super light, super strong America Cup boats. We got nothing better to do. Now my burrito's cooled down. Feels good. My tea is seeping. Old tea bags. Looks better than regular stuff. I can pick up my fish. Definitely condensating that coffee. Even boiling it again. But it's not going to be burnt. Oh, putting out over 1,000 watts, and this generator 71C is 130 degrees, 140 degrees, somewhere around there. 5 amps. Remember, that's what it was. Okay, double check. '81, 93, 94 degrees. Let's check the charge rate. Now it's 31% charge. So it's obviously still charging. Let's check the battery. Remember, this is organic. I have no idea what we're going to find here. Oh my goodness. Now we are 10 hours and 32%, 10 hours and 3 minutes, 32%. But look how fast the charge rate. Look at the curvature from the dead battery. That is a very nice hysteresis. That's look at the hysteresis. Let me get something sharp. Okay, look at the hysteresis from my discharge. Okay, looks like I used a little bit. Pretty flat. Pretty flat. Okay, there's my hysteresis for the charge. Obviously, spot on. Okay, they're all equal. Now look at my hysteresis. That is awesome. That is a perfect. Give me a moment. We got to do this right. Okay, I wanted a piece of square stainless steel or something. Sorry. Okay. Because I didn't want this to mess with my brain. Wow. And the prediction is even, that means this battery is going to be charged. I started the dead. The dead battery was here, but I actually started the charge somewhere around here, because that's about what time it is right now, 9 o'clock. And we've only been charging for as long as this video, 1 hour. So that's 1 to 9, and it looks like, okay, 16 means, what does 16 mean? I don't know what 1/16 means. It looks like that might be the hysteresis mark, 1/15. I have to study that. We'll just put that on the shelf. But more importantly, the phone, the calorimetry of the phone has already predicted a perfect hysteresis ramp. This is dumping and making heat. But we just plugged this in a couple of minutes ago. It re-predicted, it filled up the charge almost instantly. It's 11:02, 9 a.m. That must be, I don't know what the 1/16 means. I don't know. But it's important. So we'll just leave that on the shelf for a little bit. But look at my temperature. Okay, looks like here's the regulator down here. The regulator of the battery is near the charge port. So let me hit this right spot on the, right at the charge port. $69, 70 degrees. Okay. I wonder, I'm going to leave something on the table for a moment. I know the field can impose on that generator. I know that. We're going to leave that on the table for a moment. Just for a moment. We're going to go over to the charging of this, because they're the same. You see that? They're the same. That is not correct to have a new charging port that has a different hysteresis. We're going to have to think about that for a minute. So now let's just take a chance and let's go for the gusto. We're going to check the temperature. This battery is definitely charging at 75, 76 degrees. So we have not done any damage with this energy. We're still cool. I can go ahead and pick this up. I'm going to put the cover, just snap it on lightly so the battery doesn't fall out. Okay. Look at that. Only 1 hour left until the battery's fully charged. Now it's at 83%. We're at 77. But now we have a sharp hysteresis again. But that doesn't follow suit to what the battery's been doing on the regular power. Okay, let's just take a chance. Boop. Okay, 11 o'clock. There's the start. It's 11:03, 11:06. There's the start. and we're going to have to see what the hysteresis is. We might be de facto already doing a little trickle on the grid. Just because I know that the magnetism, it's not electromagnetism. I know the linear magnetism field induces, and it's healthy. We know that. That's a fact. That's not a medical statement. It's a fact. Interesting. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave these plugged in. I'm not gonna mess with this control. I'm gonna turn off the power because I'm gonna leave this one plugged in. Okay? But I'm gonna turn off the power. But I'll leave this charge so we can check the hysteresis on the next video. I think we've got some pretty good empirical data in 1 hour. And I hope I have your attention, because I think this is worth noting. So let's do a Saturday Night Live closing. There's your Bose-Einstein condensate. There's your ripple. See that? There's your waves going into a, there's your electrons going into a wave. There's your 4-phase power. Once again, to have a line on an oscilloscope, you must have electrons. The generator is off. I'm going to go ahead and kill the power to the drive. Give it a second or two. Turn off my burners. We're not producing any amps. We're completely, you know what? We're going to leave the burners on for a reason. They would be a draw. That would definitely kill any resistant voltage coming from any kind of antenna effect in the generator. But look, the electrons are running free. Okay? $400 millivolts. Or this would be under putting it there, moving a decibel, but let's just give it to the auto range. Let it find its thing. There you go. 400 millivolts. There's the scale. 400 millivolts. The definition of superconductivity. Look at the ohms of the generator. Now, 3.3 ohms, or 3.9. This generator is wound with those big coils at 29 ohms. Not anymore. We've dropped the ohms in copper wire, the definition of superconductivity. Sometimes even I get spooked, and I am the ultimate spook. So let's check my carbone burrito, and let's see if it's moist inside. Yep, it's still moist. I'm going to eat it, carbon and all, just because. Now I'm hungry. I'm going to enjoy my coffee, and then I'm going to have some tea, and I'm going to turn in. Go home, load this video on YouTube for you all to enjoy. Yep. And now, give me 1 second while you're studying this. Okay. I just wanted to double check something. I loaded it to see, to try to dump the load, to see if there's any millivolts coming. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the ohms meter. Are you ready for this? I turned off the ohms meter, and it went up. Remember we talked about checking resistance in one direction with a DC or AC, a DC for ohms, speed over time over distance, versus impedance, which is the AC wave over a resistor for the capacitance. Now we have a little bit of understanding of something. They're saying my discharge hysteresis should definitely match my charge hysteresis. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, that is wicked. And look at how much time it says I should have 10 hours and 42 minutes left on the charge. Remember what it was when we started?